here. We'll go to our penultimate match of both this show and the cruise division. We have the nightclub fight sequence in the original John Wick going up against the bank robbery chase, or the post bank robbery chase in Heat, starring Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. Also, I've said Heat too many times in the past couple weeks because I've been answering the question like, you said you watched all these movies because we went on vacation recently. All our friends, Heat. Oh, you mean with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy? I'm like, no, I mean with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, not fucking Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. Very different tone of movie.
Yes.
So how would you how'd you score this one?
I was split. I said 5-5.
I went 7-3 John Wick.
Okay. So the Heat one, it's tough because I really loved the sequence up until the point guns start firing. Because it's like it's kind of like the Alfred Hitchcock thing where like if you see a bomb under a table and you show that at the beginning of the scene, that builds tension. And that's the whole scene. You're just waiting. It builds suspense. You're waiting for that bomb to go off.
Right.
Rather than you just have a bomb go off at the beginning of a scene.
Yes.
Right? So it's like they're building the tension of this bank robbery, building it. But then like once the guns start firing, I just go, oh, okay. Well, now it's a shootout between them and the cops.
Yeah, there's no build to the shootout. And also, we're already on Heat, so I'll discuss what's good and bad about Heat, in my opinion.
Oh, actually, so you're the decider on this.
So yeah, again, I went 7-3 John Wick.
Yeah.
So I recently watched Heat. It was a double feature. Well, actually, it was a quadruple feature night over at the good old Davies Melvin household because Ab was gone that day. So I watched Heat, The Sound of Music, The Sting, and Sicario all on one night. So it was a four-peat of movies I've never seen.
That's a good night.
So also back to back, Heat and Sound of Music was wild.
I bet.
Because one moved at an incredible pace and one moved at a snail's pace, and Heat was the one that moved at a snail's pace. So
that's a good thing.
Not always. I'm usually here for a slow burn. That's too slow a burn for me.
No, I'm saying I think Sound of Music is the longer movie.
Yeah.
So at least that one moved quicker.
Yeah. So, or it's right. It's almost like a dead Heat because Heat is like 258, and I want to say Sound of Music's like right around the 250 mark. Somewhere around there. Oh shit!
I didn't realize. Yeah, Heat is 250. Holy shit!
Oh yeah, no. Exactly. So
it's been a long time since I've watched that full.
Well, ironically, I spread the word that we were doing this in my friend group and other stuff, and in the friend chat. 4 days later, after I posted the little video about, hey, we're doing this and whatever, I got is the bank robbery scene from Heat in? I was like, of all the scenes that my friend group could have brought up, I was not thinking it was going to be the bank robbery from Heat.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a whole swath of people that love this scene and think it's one of the greatest action scenes of all time.
I really love it up until they get out into the car and they start firing guns.
Well, that's my issue is the bank robbery itself is fun, but I don't think the bank robbery merits getting into this tournament. And then the shootout is what I think merits getting into the tournament, but I also think the shootout is part of the weaker stuff because then it's just... What's good about it is the cacophony of the whole situation, where they are constantly being made to shift their plans throughout the city. They have to shoot out with innocent people, essentially. All that's great. Val Kilmer takes one. Spoilers. We should have said spoilers at all of these episodes, but whatever. He's 30 years old at this point.
Yeah.
So, you're getting this whole thing of the chase through, and everyone's just shooting machine guns at each other. But I think it takes too long. The impact isn't felt, because the suddenness and the chaos of it all is really interesting. But then it just keeps going and going and going, and then it turns into just kind of a personal chase between Pacino and De Niro. So it's tough because I feel it loses the impact the longer it goes. And again, maybe cut that by a minute or two, have the shootout, and you're golden. But it just continually goes, and it's hide, say a word, take a bunch of shots. Hide, word, take a couple shots. And it just keeps going that way. There's not a ton of variety in the actual sequence itself.
So your complaint is kind of the same thing as a lot of these, where it just kind of overstays its welcome.
It overstays its welcome. And the funny part is this is when I watched
that's fair.
When I watched in John Wick, so I shouldn't say this just yet. I think the shots, the facials, and the panic of Los Angeles, that's all tremendous in Heat. You can't take that away from it. It's a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
But in comparison to other stuff, overstays its welcome, whatever. But I love the facial reactions. The other thing is, one of the greatest issues I have with Heat is also addressed in that scene, where there's a whole 20-minute subplot of the guy getting out of prison, trying to find his way in the world. He's the driver, and he gets shot immediately. And you're like, what the fuck was the point of half of this? Just show a crew member in the fucking dinner scene. 20 seconds, and it cuts a bunch of stuff out of the movie that you don't need. And you got, or 15 minutes, you got a much more pleasurable movie to watch. So that again is addressed in this scene. So that's why I don't want to come off too negative. It's a great scene. The chase elements are very good. The facial reactions and cinematography, everything is tremendous. It just overstays its welcome. Mm-hmm. And doesn't have a ton of variety to it. Where in John Wick, what was interesting is I watched the full 10-minute sequence from the time he puts the gun to Kevin Nash, which, by the way, too sweet. Love having Kevin Nash appear in a movie, because who doesn't like Big Daddy Cool? So, which was fun to see, but the tonal shift where he's going through the bathhouse section, and it's all very calm, and he's almost reserved, and just one shot done, and they're teasing you. They're like, oh, this is Baba Yaga, but this is not full-on John Wick yet. And it just keeps escalating, and the lighting is perfect.
Yeah, it's really like fun lighting, I would say.
It's great lighting, and then the transition where when everything goes to hell, the music shifts, the tone shifts in the characters. John's far more animated. It's tremendous. And there's a ton more. What's so funny is we've already complained about the variety in John Wick not having that much variety. That scene in itself has a lot of variety in the way he's interacting with people, the way he makes kills, the way the scene is set up. So that's why I went with John Wick on 12-8 victory.
So if I didn't have this big complaint, it would have been 7-3 in favor of John Wick. But I have this big complaint in that scene, which is there's this really big moment that I really love where John Wick makes eye contact with Theon Greyjoy, Alfie Allen.
Yeah.
And he looks him straight in the eyes, and then he shoots the guy pinned under him straight in the head. But then immediately after, so that would kind of infer, or yeah, it would infer that hey, this is going to be personal. I want to grab you and beat the living shit out of you.
Yes.
This is personal. I want to kill you in a torturous way.
Yes.
But then immediately after that, it contradicts itself by John Wick starting to shoot at him. So it's you literally had the opportunity to shoot him when you made eye contact with him. Why not just shoot him?
I think that's an interpretation thing, because that's one of my positives of the scene. I love when Alfie Allen has him at gunpoint. John has him at gunpoint. And then I was going to say fucking Theon Greyjoy over here. He puts the gun down because he knows he's fucked. And John, instead of taking him out now, he's just like, no, no, no. I want you to watch. I want you to
Yeah.
lock eyes with me and see that no matter what you do, no matter where you go, not only am I going to kill you, I'm going to kill everything and everyone that's important to you. Simply because you killed my dog.
No, see, I would love that.
And I love the quick as he's locked eyes. He doesn't even care about what he's doing. I love that.
I just wish he didn't start shooting at Theon running away later.
Yeah, sure.
Because then it would be like, okay, then I want to catch him and make a personal kill.
Yeah, it would have been cool if he would just kneecapped him. You know, it would have been fun.
Yeah. Other than that, I really love the scene.
Yeah, but I think that scene's incredible. We'll talk about it more, obviously, in the next one. But 12-8 victory for John, the original John Wick. Which that scene is, I also want to say, though, that scene also, that's the establishment of an icon. Where undeniably John Wick is an icon of action movies now.
Yes.
Or just movies in general. Everybody knows John Wick now. And that's the sequence that makes him an icon. That you just go, it's fucking Baba Yaga, man. So 12-8 victory for John Wick.